Hey guys, quick video here where I've just written down a list and I'm going to explain my reasoning for it. I had a video planned as like discussing, who could be an MK Onslaught. Davia is not completely outdated, and I've realized all MK Onslaught is just reusing MK11 assets and some MKX assets, and continuing to disrespect 3D era, like saying drama instead for no reason. But this video wanted to make a collective of, even if they are reusing just MKX and MK11 assets, I'm going to cover like all the characters that actually contains. I'm not saying most most of these won't even be in the game, I reckon. But I'm just saying, this is the bare minimum, right? For considering what I'm doing. So there's 63 unique characters here. I'm not going to go over like no name stuff. I will mention some things like variations and stuff for characters that would also be easy to include. But yeah, if you're going to make this lazy piece of shit mobile game, then actually have the fucking content to justify it. Because the only thing I like freezing assets. It's what made the 3D era so great. They could build on the same structure. But Onslaught just doesn't build on anything. Its entire foundation is off the fucking the MK11, and they sprinkle some MKX and like a couple new assets in, and they just called it an A, which is absurd, ludicrous. So yeah, no, I'm not having that. I'm covering this. So firstly, there's the MK11 roster, which is the list here, which is 32 MK characters. There is no excuse for there not being all 32 of these people. There are some characters who literally are the same design as their default. Others have like variations, both in terms of like their color palette, but that's also easy to do because it's still the same design, it's still a model and stuff. And then some like literal different variations, like the fucking Undying Shao Kahn, stuff like that. And I'm sure there'll be more being added in the future, which is why I'm concerned. I think I'll just focus on making variations of the same people over and over, instead of just adding all these characters. Like, this is the full roster. And it's a decent amount. It's a decent start. And the fact we only have like 21, I don't even know if that's the correct number. It might be lower, I'm trying to think of it. But it's like fucking early 20s. In the low 20s, early 20s. I'm saying like it's an age. And yeah, that's terrible, especially for a mobile game. Onslaught is currently the worst roster in the franchise, in my opinion. I think it's, even if we were to look aside the fact of reuse and stuff, I think at its core level, it's still inferior to like every roster except for like MK1, 2, and base 3, and like maybe somewhere like the fucking like the game. The Game Boy Colored version of like MK4, so that, but there's literally no characters, right? Like that's what it's beating. It's beating certain things by default. Yeah, it's incredibly poor. It's terrible, and yet I don't have to explain any of these. They should be in the game. If they're not, then that is abhorrent. Next, we have the MKX roster, and I think this is also with covering because they reuse assets for Goro. Goro is just MKX Goro. He can breathe fire, which they probably should have saved for Kentaro, which I'll get to Kentaro. But this is including the characters who don't like show up in like MK11 also. And yeah, Goro and Quan Chi are already on the roster. And Shinnok, he's the main villain, and he's not on the roster at the moment. Might just be an NPC. They might just think, he's a boss, so there's no point making him playable. Even though Shinnok always has been playable in his appearances. He should always be in, and also he's got the MK11 assets which they are using. So Quan Chi is a new model, right? So I think for the human-like characters, the ones that do look just like a regular human, pretty much. Like Quan Chi's just a human in makeup, pretty much. So for them, they'll make new models because it clashes with like 11's style. But even then, if you're borrowing to do that with Quan Chi, you might as well do it for the whole MKX roster, right? And again, I don't know, like, if that, my theory is true, they might have made a new model for Quan Chi in general. Because Goro, again, is reusing stuff, so it shows they can just reuse the MKX stuff. So this adds on all these characters. Kenshi, I'll point out some others, because there's stronger reasoning for us, like Kenshi and Ermac, who are in the MK11 Corrupt. Kenshi's a corpse, but you have, like, the assets for, like, the design, just in a new face. Which I see with a mobile game, there's not much detail to the face models, so that shouldn't really be a problem. And yeah, Ermac just completely new design MK. He could be used just like Shinnok. Reptile, so it has like Reptile, like the Shang Tsung, they should just have like a classic variant at the very least. I think they should also have more than just being a classic version. Like fucking MK Mobile, like the first MK Mobile game just has classic smoke, which is so fucking dumb. That's literally it. I don't think there's like a cyber smoke. There's not just a revenant smoke. There's not regular smoke. It's just classic smoke. So yeah, they should at the very least have those. There should be more though. Again, I'm not going to accept for just that. I'm just pointing out all the stuff that should be in this sort of mobile game. Ferret and Tor I listed separately because I think they should be separate. That style of game, I think just having like a child character on their own isn't really a problem. It depends on like ultraviolence or anything. So I think they can be separate. And Tor is, you literally don't see his face, so you could just completely reuse all his stuff. Like it with Goro. So no excuses there. Triborg, obviously that also brings the point of Sector Cyrix and Smoke 2, which leads to my next thing, the other reusable assets. And we got a long one. So Sector Cyrix Smoke, you can reuse the Triborg stuff, or, you know, MK11 Cyrix and Sector have models. Sector even has like a different a second costume which you can make like a variation for him or something. And like we said with Onslaught, you have kind of some variations, but also some are just standalone. They just have a regular design. So yeah, so when it comes to like discussing like the NPC characters, my point, like when people were like, oh well, they should be in MK11, I was like, well, they need more designs, color palettes, and like a new moveset and stuff. So I don't like the NPCs, but they can't just like port it in as a reason why they're not playable. But here, there is no reason why they're not playable. So they aren't included. Again, it's a beta. The current roster is probably not complete, but it's a poor start. Next is Chronica. I don't think the fucking time stuff is gonna be in the story or anything, but you might as well just have them as like some special like reward or whatever. Because yeah, NPC and stuff. And also it technically marked Chronica's first playable appearance, so you might as well do that to say that. Charon, another NPC is named. I know people wouldn't assume he's a fighter. I think he could be. Right. I don't know why I can't just make him like this soul god thing. I don't know why I can't do something like that. Again, you could just reuse Shang Tsung moves if you had to. But yeah, the model's there. I don't know exactly what you do for his gameplay. But you don't have to do much. You just need one ability and like some generic combo strings, right? So yeah. Next is Kentaro. Kentaro literally has a model in MK11. A full model because of Shang Tsung's fatality, where just throws a soul inside your body and that just summons Kentaro. I love there's no explanation for that whatsoever. It's just a thing that exists. That's not how souls in MK work. And why is it even on Kentaro? So, it's annoying. I don't know why they do these things. Next is Motaro. There's a centaur head in MK11. And again, this thing, well, point being like, This is probably a reach. That I assume that's probably the point people who would see this would make. But the thing is, again, I'm expecting for a full new game, I expect more than just reusing assets. Like, there's definitely not enough for a complete centaur. But they've made a horse before, and this is a type of game where having 4 legs wouldn't fucking matter. So why do you not make centaurs playable? Like, in the story, they even pass on, like, the fucking Shokan, like, race war. They kind of just turn into a Shokan Tarkatan race war. I don't know if that's intentional or if... I don't know. It's dumb. It's really dumb, and constantly missing just blatant opportunities to feature centaurs since... Like, we've had, like, fucking 5 things since MK11 where you could have had a centaur. I mean, Scorpion's Revenge is, like, one. Just that one random centaur, but, yeah, that doesn't really count. I need, like, actual characters. Like Motaro. Fucking hell. Now, C-Median and K-Median, you could just turn the classic palettes and then just, like, kind of alter them, giving, like, some, like, transparent effects. Kind of like what they do with the spirits, right? But the spirits are also an example of reusing, like, classic costumes. And also the MKX costumes for the mending one, which is interesting. The spirits are literally the only cool thing in Onslaught. And they're still reusing assets. But, yeah, they show some new stuff, you know. They show some capabilities. And if they can make spirits like them for spirits, where they have like these special effects and stuff, but still reuse just a classic costume, why aren't C-Median and K-Median here? They would require like the same amount of effort, really. And maybe like, I don't know, like for their like special, you could just have them like who they select, they just copy their special or something. I don't know. Just get fun with it. Just get fun with the fucking roster. Please. There's Serena. And Serena, firstly, MKX has a model for her. MK11 has a model for her, which is just used for an icon, which is fucking absurd. It's at least like a chest up model. You have enough there to do something with, surely. And also, the Guardian Spirit, I believe. Yeah, I think it's a Guardian one. They dual Kama, or the two sickle things. I don't know how you pronounce it. Kama doesn't sound right to me. I don't know. But those weapons, Serena uses them in mythologies. Just use them there. And Natara is on a list later on. My logic applies to that. You could just use them attacks for Natara, and also you have like Scarlet Blood magic stuff. You'd have to make a new design for it and stuff, a new model, but they've proved they can do that with Quan Chi. So yeah, again, no excuses. Like they can do more than the bare minimum. Fucking hell. Mocap, same as Serena, has a model used for an icon, which is an April Fool's icon, both of them, which is a massive fucking middle finger. Like Mocap, I think like the logic would be, oh, this joke character, haha. I actually like Mocap though. But then Serena's also there. It's like, oh, you're just fucking trying to annoy fans, aren't you? Because like, these characters aren't in the game. Yeah, and the rest are absolute twats, aren't they? Just Christ. Meat is like the fucking easiest character to make. It is insane. You literally have flesh. You literally have like fucking skinless models and like skeletons and shit. And MK11 even has like a specific head, like an eye sticking out for like Meat's head, like for like a consumable that goes across the screen. Just attach that to like a skinned body, and we just see the flesh and stuff. And there's Meat. It's really not that complicated. I'm not expecting any like spectacular Meat redesign. You can just at the very least include him here, and then just give him like cleavers, like. Meat has got to be like the simplest character design for something like this. It is insane how they won't use him. Like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. I know he's perceived as just a joke, but even then, there'd be charm to it regardless, even if they did it as like a joke, you know. I don't know why they avoid him. And then Dramin. Meat, Armageddon Meat, which is like what makes him a proper character that game. His torso is just Dramin's torso. just like retextures and stuff. Well, not even retextures, it's got like a new like bloody coat and stuff. So yeah, you can pretty much do something like similar to that. I expect a bit more effort, obviously, but yeah. Also, Drahmin's mask is a huge part of the story, and I just make up shit about Drahmin's mask. I just say, oh, Drahmin's been dead for centuries, which, as I mentioned in my review, was what made me realise, oh, this is another game where they just hate on the 3DO, and it's just more of this bullshit. Just have him in the game. I don't know why you need Drahmin dead, but you also need his mask for the story. I don't fucking get it. I was just called the face of Kunlo. Don't the mask is a name. They don't know that because they don't research. They just make shit up. Moloch. Now, they have the mold for an Oni like Moloch, and also they have the ball of chain, which is like the corpse next to Goro's in Goro's lair. Again, you're going to need new textures for that mold, but you can reuse the mold itself. And I look at the fucking Twitter, like the dev Twitter, ages ago, and they were like, "Oh, it's not Moloch, it's just another Oni." Yeah, because Oni just happened to use the same weapons, I guess. It's dumb. The reference is blatantly that is Moloch's corpse. I don't know why they try to ignore this fact. I don't know why they keep like referencing characters by just having them be dead. I don't know who you're trying to appeal to. Next is Reiko. There are like a fucking billion Khan Guard soldiers in MK and in Onslaught. You could absolutely just make a Reiko design in some way out of it. I don't know what it would look like, but you could easily make a Reiko design. No fucking way you couldn't. Shujinko, there is literally an old Shaolin master who looks like Shujinko, but bold. It looks like Shujinko's old. With like this cool little like white robe thing. And I haven't listened here, but you also have like fucking a guy with like Dairu's hair similar to that. So yeah, they put more effort into like the no-name characters because they actually have new assets and stuff. At least it seems like it. Then they did with like the playable characters, which is fucking hilarious. And lastly, a Striker who, you know, NPC from MKX. You could just like give him like a human look and stuff. There'd have to be effort going into that, but I expect some effort. You get paid to do this shit. Come on, do your fucking job. 63 roster, bare minimum. That's what I expect come 2023. You fucking dumbasses. Anyway, yeah. So I'm not happy with NRS again. I'm not happy with Onslaught. But yeah, this is what you people as fans of Mortal Kombat should be expecting as like a bare minimum. This amount of stuff. I'm not like a game developer. Well, I'm developing a game in college, but like an indie game. But that doesn't really count. That's like very simple shit. Well, it's not simple, but yeah, I'm clueless on what it is. So, yeah, but if you're gonna reuse so many assets, then you need to reuse everything. Is my belief, or else you're being lazy. And I would say, I mean, this might be a sign that the NRS employees aren't going for like fucking crunch hours, but they're working on another project, which is probably a console game. So there's probably more crunch if they have to also bother reusing shit for this fucking waste of time. I don't know why it exists. I don't know what the point is. I don't know if it's trying to start the new rebooted timeline. I don't even know the fucking continuity. They haven't really explained it. It's just presumably something from MK2, 3, and 4. I'm going on a tangent here. I have a whole review on my channel where I also just ramble about stuff. But yeah, here's the roster. 63 characters. Please. It's a disappointment, Onslaught. But yeah, there's clearly a lot of stuff that, even if they were just looking from MTX and 11, there's a lot here. So yeah, there's no excuses, and I think I proved it here. But yeah, thank you for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Well, I'll probably not be talking about this game because there's nothing else to really cover. So yeah, bye.